What's up, Wastelanders? It is your favorite, The Fallout feed. This is episode number 36, and you can once again find us at asapodcasting.com. You can also find us on Twitch via ASA Podcasting or at The Fallout feed. Or is it ASA Podcasting for the Twitter?
For Twitch, yes.
Yeah. Well, for Twitch, yes.
Uh,
But we also have
Twitter is a Skyrim addict, or
There we go. Yeah, I knew I was getting that wrong.
sorry, I misheard what you were talking about. You meant Twitter.
Yeah, so Twitter, we're also on Facebook. You can find us at a Skyrim Addict Podcast and the Fallout feed. It's a closed group. You just have to ask to join, and we'll pretty much just pop you right on in there. You can find us online at asapodcasting.com, and just check us out. We'd like to see more of you around and hang out. Today I'm joined by some pretty awesome people. First of all, we've got Casey back. Hey, Casey, welcome back.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we also have a special guest, Patrick Lusk. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, you can call me Pat. Thanks for inviting me to join.
All right, Pat. And as always, the ever-pleasant Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hardly ever pleasant, but thanks for having me.
All right, so this podcast we're going to talk a little bit about Far Harbor in a much more spoilery way. So if any of you don't want to hear any spoilers at all, I suggest you stop this podcast right now. Otherwise, let's get started.
But thanks for downloading.
Yeah,
thanks.
finished. By now, yeah. But I don't know. I've run into some problems like with my computer and whatnot, so that slowed me up.
That's true. Did you actually finish, Kara?
Not completely yet. Not completely. Nice. But I'm almost there.
I think it might be a bad sign, but I can't really tell if I have finished yet or not.
Well, that's interesting. Tell us about that.
Oh, we'll get into it more, I'm sure, but I've done all the quest logs, but I still feel like there's some unfinished business to be dealt with.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if I have actually completed it or not.
Was there a big showdown or anything, or you just completed all the quest logs and that's it? It's just silence.
Well, there are some corpses. There were some fatalities.
Uh-huh.
Friends were torn apart.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that gives us a clue as to how your playthrough went.
Families were destroyed.
Okay. But, yeah, there still could be a few things here and there on the island, probably.
What faction did you follow?
I need some. That's the thing. I was trying to play all three.
Oh.
So let's do just a brief introduction to Far Harbor. There's 3 different factions on this island that is overrun by a toxic mist, that is a radiation mist. Who are these 3 factions? We've got the Children of Adam. The Church of the Children of Adam, I think, is their official title.
Probably. Yeah. And then we've got the residents of Far Harbor.
Just a fishing village on the shore.
Village, but I know that the
Harbormen.
homesteaders.
The Harbormen.
Yeah. The Harbormen, and then the final faction is.
It's just are they called Acadia? Is that what the faction is called? I'm not even sure what the faction is called.
I'm pretty sure it's called Acadia. I mean, they're not exactly the synth faction, even though they are pretty much synths. Or most of them are. It's questionable whether some are or are not, because even they don't have a test to tell, well, you are 100% a synth without killing you yet. So some of them could just be regular people who are very confused.
Yeah, that's true. They have no idea. But they found Acadia because they're either escaped from the Institute or the railroad brain wipe didn't work, right?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure about the railroad brain wipe, and I have something to talk about a little later So we'll need to get back to Acadia in regards to that. But so those are the three factions. And again, what led us here was a Nick Valentine case that led us to Far Harbor in search of a lost girl who's not so lost so much as she ran away because she believes she's a synth. And so we followed her, and then we just decided to step all over this hot mess here in Far Harbor and decided to poke our nose in and do something about it because, why not? We did that with the Commonwealth, so let's just keep going.
Why not? There's, like a listener wrote in last week, there is another way to just go to Far Harbor. You just talk to Daddy Warbucks there, whatever his name is, and Nakano? Is that the family name?
Yeah, Nakano or Nakano?
I don't know. Anyway, you speak with the father, and he'll tell you his daughter's missing. You don't actually have to go through the Valentine Detective Agency. But so when you show up to the island, the Far Harbor people are like, oh, this mist, and all that. So they have these cool-looking, what do they call the mist eater things?
The fog condensers.
Fog condensers.
I like mist eater better.
It's the same difference, right?
Yeah, completely.
Anyway, these fog condensers collect this fog. Have any of you figured out? Patrick, did you do any cooking? Is that stuff useful?
Yeah, it gives you, I think, steel and oil. Well, if you grab that condensed fog, so it's pretty useful, actually.
Oh, nice. I thought that maybe it was used in cooking a dish or of some.
Well, I've noticed that you use the same oil in some of the cooking as you do in your mechanics. So you can pick up cooking oil or like from a blowtorch, and it all goes to the same oil pot.
It's all the same oil. Gross.
Yeah. So your fried fog crawler is the same as your power armor oil for better or for worse.
Hey, it all lubricates, right?
That's right. Monounsaturated power armor.
It tastes good. So, where are we on the island here? Who tips you off to Acadia? Does someone say, "Oh, you have to go visit these people," or how do you find out about Acadia?
That's actually a really good question.
It's really early. I don't remember whether it's the Mariner or Avery or who, but you find out about Acadia.
It is.
Fast, and somebody says Longfellow. Okay, and Longfellow will run you there. That's the first thing I did. Longfellow ran me to Acadia.
Oh yeah,
and Casey, could you tell us a little bit about this kind gentleman Longfellow? Did you have him assist you at all on your adventure through the island?
No, not really. I actually don't know much about Longfellow.
Yeah, I didn't really have him along either, but I kind of liked his getup, so I invited him to be a follower, and then I dumped him off at Dalton Farm and gave him like a clean yellow suit and put him on a weapon shop. He just kind of looks like just a normal kind of salesman now. He actually kind of looks like the Vault-Tec salesman with a beard, almost. It's kind of
like an older one.
Andrew, did you claim his island as a settlement?
Oh, yes. I don't know. Can you find anything cool in there? I didn't really search around very much.
Well, no, it's just there's 4 settlements, and his island is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's where you find. As soon as I got out of the mission from Acadia, I immediately signed him to be a provisioner and sent him back to the Commonwealth so I could link all my settlements together. So he's a provisioner for me.
It took me a few weeks to figure out that you can send someone back. That was such a great revelation once I figured out, oh shit, yes, everything's connected now. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. But I was literally collecting everything again, scrapping everything, just setting up my civilizations from scratch again from Dalton Farm, and then I had the other 2 or 3 settlements on the island all linked up to Dalton Farm. through, provisioners, but I didn't think to send one back to the mainland, to the Commonwealth. When I did, it opened up the whole world, and then I could just start building whatever I wanted. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I don't do the settlement linking. I just got the strong back perk 4, which allows you to fast travel if you're over encumbered.
Mm-hmm.
So
you
I
just take everything everywhere.
Yeah. Once I got that settlement to the north, the Dalton Farm, I just brought all 4,000 pounds of junk I had with me.
That's great. Oh man, I've wasted so much time in Skyrim moving houses. Just like, fuck it, load up all 5,000 pounds of whatever you have and haul it all the way across the map and hope you don't get killed too many times along the way. Just, oh jeez, it's the worst. There's no over encumbered fast travel in Skyrim unless you find the horse. You have to get on a horseback. Fast travel there.
Well, speaking of finding cool things, did anyone else notice the gigantic skeleton on the little strip 2 Longfellow's cabin?
Yeah.
What kind of skeleton? Was it a big whale?
It looked like a big whale kind of thing, but it had a weird head for a whale, so I'm not entirely sure it was a whale. But and it was next to one of those dolphin thingies that's like half.
It's always missing a stomach.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, that's really, really, really big. I hope I never, ever meet one that is living. But it's just interesting that there's just this giant husk of...
Yeah, I found a couple of those around the island. And, I don't know, I was hoping that there would be some sort of underwater combat with the addition of the island. They still haven't done that. I could have sworn, oh yes, a harpoon gun. That definitely means we're going to be fighting underwater, right? Still nothing. But see, I was hoping it was going to be teased that those those dolphins that are missing their stomachs on the Commonwealth mainland beaches, that they would be fighting them or something on the island. But no such luck. No.
They gave you things like the diver suit too, and you never have a reason to use it.
Yeah, and unless I'm missing something, there could be this giant treasure somewhere. Well, let's get into that.
Well,
there was if I remember right, there was something by a lighthouse way to the far on the south of the island, right? Wasn't there something in the water there?
Oh,
am I totally mistaken about that? I could have sworn there's a lighthouse all the way to the south on the main part of the island.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the map.
So are we being full spoiler? Are we going full spoiler here?
Go right ahead, discuss it. It's been long enough. I think we've tiptoed around. We can go full.
Because there's
spoiler.
There's the marine armor suit that you get as the. Did you guys do Dima's brain? The crazy puzzle.
Yes, all those the 5 computer level brains.
Yeah, so the 5th one of those gives you the location of this experimental prototype marine armor that's scattered underwater all over the island. And one of them is far to the east, one of them is far to the southwest, and the other one I think is like due west or something. So that's something that's like purely underwater.
Mm-hmm. I really like that armor too.
Is that the heavy version or the stealth version?
That's the heavy version.
Okay, because I've been wearing the stealth version a lot recently.
I still haven't found that.
I think that's in what he's talking about right here, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah.
Do you get the stealth version too in here? Yeah.
Well, I didn't get it because I did one of my famous. As soon as I got out of the water, I got attacked by wolves and killed, and I was too frustrated to go back and try again.
Reload.
Yeah, reload. And I'm playing survival, right? So it's a lot of dying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. Are there good beds anywhere?
Yeah, there's these tents. There's actually a new kind of bed. It's really basically like a fancy sleeping bag, but it looks different. It's a tent, and you actually sleep in the tent rather than a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any functional difference though.
Mm-hmm.
No. Was that in the update, or was that just something that we've missed?
I think it's Far Harbor. I think it's Far Harbor. Yeah, I haven't seen it like pop up in the regular Commonwealth, so I think it's maybe unique to Far Harbor.
I was really hoping it would, because I just cannot survive in the survival mode at all.
So we have met Old Longfellow. We've gotten his property. If you've talked to, is their name Mother Dalton or something in Far Harbor, you can also get a quest to get another property on the north side of the island called Dalton Farm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what specifically you have to do for her, though. I'm pretty sure there's 2 minor little fetch quest type things, or...
There are 4 quests in total with her, I think.
4, good lord.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she wants you to do a lot of stuff. She praises you, like you're the one who's supposed to come and get retribution for her family after all these... She literally talks about, like, a story and a hero, and you're the hero. And I'm like, come on, Mama Dalton, you're laying it on a little thick. Thick.
You start pumping you full of jet like Mama Murphy. Watch out. Watch out, lady.
You don't have to make her a special chair, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, someone posted another post of people putting the chair in mean places. I always love those.
Yeah, but she finds a way.
She usually does. She's determined.
Although I'm not sure she would find a way into the one that we saw in that little jungle gym thing.
Oh yeah, that might be tough.
Sanctuary. Yeah.
Who knows? If you go take a nap and come back, she might just be sitting in it underneath it, and you'd be like, "Well, how'd she do that? Come on."
Yeah.
Oh,
my brain's kind of slow, but speaking of survival mode, there was that update about the autosaves upon exiting, including for survival mode. So thank you, Bethesda, for listening to your consumers.
So how does this actually function, then? I haven't tested this out. I haven't played with it yet.
I haven't tested it myself.
Console? It's not on console yet.
It's not on console yet. Okay. Yes, I am on console.
No, it's on Steam, and it's coming to Xbox next week.
Awesome. I wonder if that's...
And to PlayStation, never.
Never. That's what I was just about to say. I was like, to me.
This is a special format.
In the update, there was also a new add-on for specific icons in the workshop mode. I haven't really looked into that. And also, big buzz about this, more than 300 new player names added to Codsworth vocabulary, could I speak English, and then some support for upcoming add-ons. So Shalene actually let me know that Codsworth can now say my name. So I might have to create a character with my name.
Just so you can hear it in video game form.
Yeah, although he'll probably say like Kara or something, which is it's close enough.
No, I hate it when people do that. It's say your name right, damn it. Come on.
He doesn't know. He's a video game robot. Leave him alone.
You can teach him. Teach him good. Yeah.
But I'm sorry for my random tangent here.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, running a slight fever today, guys. So
you're cool.
My brain jumps. So back to Far Harbor. So Pat, you've been doing Far Harbor in survival mode, period?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that must be rough.
It is really brutal. It's I'm in the regular Commonwealth. I'm pretty I hardly ever die, even to like Far Harbor, it kind of brings you back to almost like New Vegas, because there's like more rocks and it's harder to navigate, and it's harder, like in the Commonwealth, if you run into something tough, you can often just run away. But in Far Harbor, there's so many rocks and trees and things, it's hard to just run away. You can't just outrun the wolves or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not what gives me trouble. It's not the Far Harbor critters. It's like the wolves and the dogs, because you got those packs of wolves, and that's just really brutal. So yeah, it is tough in survival mode. But I wanted to stick with it because I finished the the main storyline in survival, and I wanted to stick with it through Far Harbor too.
That's impressive.
I did finish the Far Harbor storyline.
What are some of your favorite critters on Far Harbor?
Well, there's the rad chicken, which is of course a huge.
You finally get some chicken thighs.
That's right.
Nice.
Get a chicken thigh. Yeah, I haven't found a recipe for the chicken thigh yet, so I don't know. I don't know what to do with it.
Man, red chicken probably has a spicy recipe.
Extra crispy right out of the egg. I think the gulpers and the anglers are kind of. I don't know if you guys have watched the animation. They're really kind of freaky. They're like kind of pseudo humanoid.
The gulpers really creep me out.
Yeah. They hide up in the anglers hide in the water, and the gulpers hide in the trees. So you can get boned no matter which way you're walking.
It actually took me forever to realize that the gulpers were in the trees because I was not coming across them. I was only coming across anglers for whatever reason. And keep in mind, I'm just kind of beelining all over this island here. I'm not going by any specific roads or anything like that. So I am really shocked that it took me, like, I want to say a week and a half of gameplay total before a gulper finally dropped down from the trees on my head.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very confused.
And it did take me a while to discover they were in the trees. I think an errant VATS target. So I was like, whoa, whoa, there's something up in the tree. Oh, whoa, it's a young gulper or something. That's. I didn't know they were up in the trees. But yeah, I think they look like velociraptor tadpoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
They're pretty incredible. I like those a lot. And the big praying mantises are pretty sweet.
They pack a punch, though.
Yeah, they're. I think people call them bullet sponges.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty appropriate.
Yeah, I'm definitely not playing on survival mode by any means, but the radium rifle is doing me pretty good running around the island. I really love the kiloton radium rifle with the explosive legendary effect.
Nice.
Oh, it fits my fancy. I think that can be purchased at the nucleus. Have we mentioned the nucleus yet?
Not yet, actually. We also avoided that topic last week, or didn't get very specific with it, I mean.
Well, let's pull it all out.
All right. So the nucleus is where your favorite crazy of crazies, the children of Adam, kind of center themselves on this island. And Dima and his pack of synths are like, hey, we made a mistake, and we left all these really important data files that are actually part of Dima's memory and brain in this area, kind of as a show of goodwill, I think. And actually, we would like them back, so go get that for us. And so you go, okay, and you go run off, and I believe you show up to the nucleus and go, or is it the nucleus or the... Let's see. Yeah, you go straight to the nucleus, and you go, hey guys, guess what? I want to be crazy too. And they're all like, sure, come on in. And so you're just, lies upon lies upon lies, because that's really the kind of character you are when you get down to it.
They didn't let you in right away, did they?
No, not right away, but it's basically where it goes in the end.
Did they make you go off and do a couple of quests, Casey? Do you remember?
Yeah, I had to go do the vision quest type mission where you got to go find a waterfall and drink from it.
Yeah, you had to find these sacred spots or something, right?
Yeah, and then a shadow. It's like a woman. You kind of follow her, and you get she takes you to this tent or something, and you find a statue. And by bringing the statue back to the front gate, that's how they know that you completed their mission, and then they let you in.
Does someone put the statue back? That was the first.
That should be your first assignment. Is putting the statue back.
Okay, now go put it back.
I think it stayed in my inventory the whole time.
It does stay in your inventory. Yeah, I actually kind of I did that and kept the statue and sort of did away with the children of the Atom pretty quickly.
Was that by command of someone in the game? Was that by special request, or was that by your decision?
I'm trying. So I had Far Harbor was kind of hating on the synths. Everybody was a little neutral. There's the one guy, is it Alan in Far Harbor? One of the guys in Far Harbor really hates the Children of the Atom.
Mm-hmm.
But I was into my Brotherhood of Steel mode of like I like all pro-human and like have no use for the mysticism of the Children of the Atom, and said no, these guys are losers. So that was sort of my in-game reason. So it was really more my call. I said no, I'm going to wipe these guys out, and I did that with the nuclear launch codes.
You certainly don't do anything halfway in this game, do you?
I was kind of halfway with the sense. I did the option where you and I'm getting ahead of the talk on that, but I did the option where you only sacrifice one character and the rest of the sense live happily ever after.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's go ahead and start working towards that. What is our relationship with Acadia, and what are the problems that we find in Acadia when we arrive there? You can have Longfellow take you there, or you can. I didn't really realize that, and I just kind of stumbled there myself. And then everyone in Far Harbor then commented, "Oh, you got to Acadia without the help of Longfellow. Very impressive."
Way to ruin the one job that Longfellow has.
Yeah, exactly.
That
well,
was his
now he's selling
job.
shoes at the settlement, so it's okay.
How far he's fallen from intrepid guide to shoe salesman because
someone used shoes back at the settlement.
Yeah.
He's a cobbler now.
The only interaction I had with Old Longfellow was him taking me to Acadia.
Yeah. You've had more interaction with him than I did.
I still haven't finished the Shipbreaker quest with him, and I do want to do that. I have no idea where that thing went, and I've got to just kind of wander around the island. It's bugged?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got the quest and was doing the searcher thing, like you do with the Courser and in the main quest line back in the Commonwealth. You search around with your Pip-Boy. And you guys remember when you get to the Courser, when you get to 90%, it kind of like locks on and you get the recheck genetics and you find it.
Yeah.
Well, Shipbreaker could be in random places. So 2 or 3 different times I got my Pip-Boy, I got my radio like literally to like 98%, but there was no Shipbreaker, and then I would any direction I walked, it would start falling off. So. And I did a little bit of Googling, and it's apparently bugged. So, for some people, it never shows up.
I think in that case, the best thing to do is to complete the quest as soon as you get it, because she was in the area of the lumber mill, and I was just going around going, oh, I'll get back to it, and then she was like, well, I'm done waiting for you, so bye.
Yeah.
So I think the best chance any player has for now until they fix the bug, unless they did that in this most recent patch. Just the advice is do it right away, do it straight away, and bring Longfellow with you, because if he can't do his job, Andrew, then at least you can help him fulfill his lifelong dream. Just give him one thing, man.
Well, I did help him take down his arch nemesis, so you'll be happy to know that.
Oh, okay. Then he's happy with his retirement as a old shoe salesman.
Yeah, he's not too unhappy with it. What does Shipbreaker give you? Do you get any cool gear?
Casey, have you done the quest?
It bugged for you two. Casey, did you kill Shipbreaker?
No, I don't think I saw that mission at all.
Yeah, I think it pops up with Longfellow if you do the thing where you're like, where he'll stop you and be like, excuse me a moment, could we talk? You know how your companion followers at one point will awkwardly pull you aside and say, oh, can we have a conversation, please? And then I think he goes into some story about how it's basically an Ahab versus Moby Dick story of Shipbreaker and this monster he's chasing.
I felt it was very tongue-in-cheek, the whole thing. Like I could honestly feel the the developers just kind of going like, "Tee-hee, look at what we're referencing," almost like an obligatory kind of reference sort of thing. But it's still, it seems like a fun quest, even though I don't think I will ever be able to complete it through this playthrough. But it looks like the quest will, after the quest is complete, you earned the Skipper's Last Stand, a unique harpoon gun that old Longfellow was saving to deal the final blow on Shipbreaker with.
I did allow him to take the last shot too.
Aww.
I didn't even know I was supposed to. And I was just like, I'll let him put her down.
Well, how intuitive.
Did you do the quest as soon as you got the did you give Shipbreaker like a chance to escape? I think that's what Kara and I did. We let her escape and then we lost the chance. Did you do it immediately as soon as you got it?
I didn't do it immediately, but I did stumble upon it and noticed my pit boy doing the, getting closer, the percentage points ticking up, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that's. So I'm gonna run over here and see what that's about. And so that led me directly to the monster. And I didn't. I think I launched the quest that way instead of, having him get into the whole story, and then he goes into the story afterwards. If you kill the beast, then he'll go and tell you about Shipbreaker and all that stuff, I believe.
Yeah, you may have having Longfellow may have helped you too, because I didn't have Longfellow.
Yeah, I always have a companion or 3 or 4. Now that mods are out, it's getting a little ridiculous with how many people I have with me. If you listen to our old Skyrim shows at all, you know that I used to love to carry a dog and a person and another dog if possible, and just as many people as you can have in tow. And then our last season, there was this special magic power you could get where you could resurrect dead bodies. So I'd collect all the dead bodies into the corner of a room and bring like 30 dead people back to life at once and have them all follow me around and stuff. I love a companion, but just to get into mods here for a second real quick, I've got one that lets you make any animal or creature a follower. So I've got a Deathclaw follower right now, and it lets you give it names that are categorized. You can't name it yourself, but there's a bunch of different names you can choose from, and most of them are names from things in the game. So I named him Sugar Bomb. He's Sugar Bomb the Deathclaw. And I've got I couldn't ever get the Gorilla Trap to work. So I have a mod where I have a follower Cuddles the Gorilla. So there's now just a gorilla following me around. You can't equip him with anything, and he doesn't really do anything. I haven't seen him attack much either. He just kind of is there. But it's cute to have him around. And I also have the man's best friend, I believe it's called, where it's dog meat plus a companion. So I've got McCready and dog meat, the Deathclaw, and the gorilla all with me right now, running around in Far Harbor.
It's like a full Dungeons and Dragons party.
I can't believe they don't conflict with each other yet. I haven't noticed that nothing as bad has happened yet. I've been playing with it for a couple days now, so I keep expecting something to crash, but it's all been pretty good so far. I've just gone to Far Harbor for the second time. I'm now have taken my round table character there. From season 1, because we're about to go into season 2 of the round table. Well, I will start a fresh character, but I just kind of wanted to make sure none of the quest lines sort of cross each other. So now that we have a few people here that have completed all these quests, Patrick or Pat, do you see any trouble if I assign just like 2 people to each faction? And just have everyone play. I think it's all the same quests, isn't it? It's not like the main quest where there's like it divides up and everyone splits off and is doing different quests.
Yeah, yeah. If you, there's a, I know you were talking about not finding a tree, but I don't think you really need a tree because there's basically the main
It's
quest
all just a
line, and
straight
then there's
line.
the
Yeah.
side stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you basically you do the main quest, and then you kind of figure out like who do you want to screw, or do you want to like try to make it one big happy island, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Supposedly there's a way you can get the three factions in the main game to be happy
Mm.
with each other. I've never tried it.
I've heard of that, but there's such a specific way you have to do it that it sounds kind of tough. I don't know if
there's
I'd
any
have
way you
the
can kind of lump
patience to
into it.
do it.
Exactly. Yeah, but I don't know on the island if you can do that. If you can kind of let them all live in harmony and not. I think you might have to do. I think you might have to lose one because I'm not sure you can save Dima.
Yeah. It's just it's such a tough balance kind of thing. If anyone has any suggestions, feel free to write in, guys. But I mean, there's just so much to be balanced on that entire island. I just find it hard to see any way it can go that's everything is just completely happy-go-lucky, which I want. I would want that, even considering what Dima's done and other people have done. And I mean, at the very base of it, everyone's kind of pretty awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just people are people, and I consider synths people, so because they act like them.
Yeah, they do. You can't tell that they're not people, so they might as well be people.
Am I the only one who absolutely enjoys Dima and Nick's awkward conversations?
I just like the Dima's voice sounds like Nick on Ludes or something. Like just really relaxed Nick.
Pretty much, but Dima's just in a way kind of cute, almost like the younger brother searching for some kind of relationship with his older brother. I don't know which one is actually older or younger, but Dima's always like, we're gonna be friends, and Nick is like, I've got something to do in another place entirely. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'll see you.
I love it so very much, and I'm gonna be really sad when it's over. I really am. Because
once you get there, if you have Nick with you, there's a bunch of different conversations that you can go through with Dima that say that they were brothers, but that just basically means they were on the same production line.
Yeah, and
they're the same generation of synth.
Exactly.
Produced at the same facility or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the same voice actor, so the same kind of voice.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Nick has the imprinted personality of
that cop. Yeah.
Yeah, the original Nick Valentine. So I don't know. It's a kind of complicated thing there, but I'm curious to find out more about it. I like the little peek into some more of the mystery of why Nick ended up where he did with absolutely no memory but Nick Valentine's memories, because it sounds like he and Dima did interact when they were at the Institute.
Yeah, they must have.
Yeah. I mean, Dima's got like a real, like he's got like a brother crush going super hard. Like he's super happy that Nick is alive, and I'm just curious to see or to find out, almost like a brother complex. But I'm curious to find out if ever we do, like what went wrong or right in that they both separated, but they both got out, and what led up to that.
That'd be a good DLC. Nick Valentine's backstory.
I think people might get sick of it more because this is still like
so many Nick stories.
So many, oh my gosh.
So you mentioned that Dima, you don't know if there's any way we can save him, Pat. So what leads up to the events where we have to decide to end Dima's life? There are there's some nuclear test codes involved here. There's some like wind. There's the fog condensers, I believe, are involved here. There's a couple of different things going on.
Yeah. So if you want to go pro Far Harbor and save the Far Harbor town settlement, whatever, I'm not sure you can save Dima. If you want to go pro Acadia, of course, you can save Dima, but I don't know if you can save Dima and go pro Far Harbor. So when you're searching for Dima's memories, you go into that weird little. Should we describe the offbeat like puzzle levels you have to do to go through Dima's?
Why do we need those? What you mentioned that, Kara, you briefly brushed over that part of Dima's memories are being stored at the nucleus, and the nucleus is, of course, the home of the Church of the Children of Adam. What is Dima's connection to the nucleus there?
Honestly, happenstance. He was hanging out at the nucleus, and then the children of Adam showed up one day, and they're like, "Hey, what's up? We live here now." And he went, "Oh, okay."
Okay, I'll see you.
Pretty much. Like, I think he stuck around for a little bit and exchanged information with them and just tried to kind of passively build goodwill with them.
Why was he just hanging out on this nuclear submarine?
I think that was it happened like shortly after he escaped the Institute. He made his way to Far Harbor, and he ended up just kind of hiding out.
Hiding out in there. Okay.
Yeah, and he mentioned that he just kind of shut down for a while. He just kind of sat there and stared like he was in shell shock for years, and I'm not even sure how long it was. And then suddenly, the children of Adam crashed his little pity party, and and then things got put into motion. I don't remember why he left. I know that he was on really good terms with the original leader of the Children of Adam in that particular sect.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. And then this Tectus guy...
Yeah, he's not a fan.
...replaced the original leader who Dima had a good relationship with, and this guy has it out for the Far Harbor people for some reason. Yeah. He really hates the Harbormen.
Yeah, because they're blasphemers, Andrew.
Well, they hate everybody. Yeah,
they're rejecting the Lord's gift of the fog.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't abide by that. That's just you let weeds grow, and what happens to the garden, Andrew? But I think that as a show of good faith, and I don't understand why it was a show of good faith, but like Dima left behind those memory caches of his. And he doesn't, for anyone who hasn't really played this far and who is still listening to the spoiler cast, I mean, the reason why he left memory caches behind is because he is such an older model of a synth, and he doesn't have the memory capacity that current synths do. So basically, he's just replacing the memory drives over and over and over again, but he's keeping them around.
That's hilarious.
I know. I kind of wish that I could do that, though, actually.
I don't like these memories. I'm going to leave them behind.
Which I think is pretty much what he did, in my opinion. Because that's why, in my opinion, he's able to be so, I don't know about blasé, but kind of like, well, everything's going to be fine, guys, and we're just going to work together. And then he's trying to talk to Nick like that, and Nick's like, I've tried to work with people. Like, for example, there's one conversation they have where Dima's like, you and I, we just have a very interesting perspective. Isn't it great? And Nick pauses and he goes, if you call the perspective of people screaming in my face and shooting at me unique, then yes. And Dima goes, exactly. And Nick basically went
Dima.
like, okay. Yeah. And it's just so it really affects Dima, like who he is, and to me, like that means he's not a constant.
But he has these memories that he might be, shall we say, ashamed of or something, that he's leaving back at the nucleus when he's going to set up his own new society over at the at Acadia. But why do we need these memories? What's the purpose? We need to go get these memories for a specific reason, right?
Isn't it there are dangerous nuclear launch codes on them or something like that? Casey, do you remember?
Yeah, Dima is worried that the Children of Adam will discover them, I think, and use them to wipe out Far Harbor, maybe?
And there's I assume there's some sort of nuclear warhead on the submarine inside the nucleus.
I mean, it is called the nucleus, so. Yeah.
How can you launch it? It's inside of a building.
Well, maybe there's
They'll nuke themselves and not care and take out the rest of the island, right?
Well, that's the ultimate, that's like the rapture for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the division is what they call it.
Oh, the division. You're right. Yeah.
I think the Children of the Atom are trying to figure out if they can use the sub to cause the division, but you find out in the course of looking for the launch codes that the sub is rusted shut. It can't move, and so they can't launch the missiles, but you can blow up the missiles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the unbeknownst to the Children of the Atom, they can't use those missiles. But you can use it to put them down.
But now you know that you can set off those missiles if you need to in the future, correct?
Yeah, correct. Dima's memory tells you where to find the launch codes.
And there are 5 of these memories, if I remember. Patrick, you were wanting to tell us about these different levels, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what you guys thought. I was alternately frustrated and kind of intrigued by it. I was reading online. Some people said, "Oh no, it's great. They tried a different thing," but to me, it's like, well, this is not Fallout. All of a sudden, you're now in a different game.
Mm-hmm.
You're like in a puzzle game, but it's only 5 levels, and they weren't, except for the very last one. It wasn't too hard. Although my absolute least favorite thing in gaming is jumping levels. I despise jumping levels in any game whatsoever. And the fifth Dima puzzle involves a lot of jumping. So I was really frustrated with that 5th level. But there's a cheat.
I didn't have to do anything for the 5th level. I just blew up the wall like immediately.
That's the cheat. Well, not a cheat. That's the shortcut. Because I was searching for a YouTube video and somebody said that you can use the little guardian thing. Yeah, Casey, you did it. That's the way to go. It takes like 2 minutes.
Man. I should have done that. I actually had more trouble with the 4th one. These levels are pretty crazy. You have these little they look like little computerized bugs, little beetles or something that you're leading through these paths, and there's holes through all these different paths, and you have these blocks that you can drop in the holes, and then there's this laser beam that you have to feed through this maze until it hits the exit point. There's also these special blocks that you can use to redirect the laser beams through these different mazes. But basically, you just have to break down any barrier to let the bugs go through to the end. And you have these little laser turrets you can set up to help protect your little bug friends on their journey. And there's these little flying enemies that'll come attack your guys. But I had a lot of trouble with the 4th one. It's one of those things where I was trying to do it over and over and over again, and I was getting super frustrated, and I was really mad, and I didn't want to look it up, so I just turned it off and walked away. And I came back to it the next day and solved it in like 30 seconds. It's one of those things where you try it so hard and you get so mad. The best thing to do is just walk away and look at it afresh again the next day, that sort of thing. But they were literal puzzles. It was just like different little puzzles that they threw in here. And granted, I am not a huge Fallout historian. This is my first Fallout game that I've played with any depth. So I can't say that, this is atrocious. This is not a Fallout aspect. It's like, no, I think this is totally cool. I thought it was a fun little puzzle thing too. I'm a big fan of Zelda games. There's always a bunch of little puzzles in there too. So I liked it. I like those things. You get the test codes out. And what do we do with these test codes?
So there's what you get. There's a couple of things where it's just like information. I think you find out something about Nick, and you find out. So you find out something about Nick. So there's not like a location or anything. Then you get the one level is the location of the nuclear launch code that will blow up the submarine. Another one is information about. So there's these giant wind turbines on the middle of the island by Acadia that you find out a code how to sabotage if you want to, and if you do that cuts off the fog condensers and screws Far Harbor. And then you find out about the big secret that Captain Avery in Far Harbor is. That's the big spoiler. And then the fifth one is the marine armor. So so you find out about something about Nick, and then you find Avery's ascent, the launch codes, the turbines, and the armor. So those are the five things you get.
We didn't even really mention Captain Avery very much back in Far Harbor, but she's pretty much the captain of the guard, I would say, like sort of I don't know if she's the boss of the whole town, but sort of.
She's sort of the voice of reason in Far Harbor, because there's all these people ranting against the children of the Atom and ranting against it. And Avery's like, oh, we can all get along.
Yeah, but you're right. Avery turns out to be a synth, but when you go confront her about it, she of course has no idea. Avery's been placed there. She is a synth that replaced someone who was already there named Avery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like this was a synth who'd been, blanked out and then randomly showed up. This was a synth who was planted there purposefully by someone after a human had been eliminated. Who eliminated the original Avery?
Dima's the one that killed her.
And why did Dima kill the original Avery? These are these memories that Dima's hiding right here. These are the bad memories that Dima didn't want anyone to know.
In Dima's eyes, he wanted to place a synth over in Far Harbor so the synth could be like a peacekeeper. Like the new Avery would tell Far Harbor that the people of Arcadia aren't that bad and they can live together.
But even the new Avery didn't know that she was a synth.
Yeah, but I was assuming, like, Dima programmed her, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Was that done out of any kind of regret, do you think, or just to keep suspicion from, like, hey, someone's missing? That's kind of a big deal.
People go missing all the time.
Oh, that's true. The fog. Fog kills.
So, Avery's a synth, didn't know she was a synth. Dima put her there. There was another memory, help me remember this, everyone, where Dima, it was someone else besides Avery, arranged to have someone else killed, or knew about the murders or deaths of someone else and covered it up, or something? Wasn't there some sort of weird tragedy like that?
Mm-hmm.
What was that all about? I'm not remembering correctly.
Oh, you got me.
So I think there was some weird.
I mean, Dima.
You find out about it at the Vim Pop Factory. So I don't know that anybody knows about it because Dima suppressed the memory.
Yeah.
And you figure it out by finding the real Avery's real human body buried at the Vim Pop Factory.
Oh, tell us about that. Where's the Vim Pop Factory?
So the Vim Pop Factory is in the south, sort of south by southwest edge of the island. It's overrun by just a ton of super mutants, and it's actually I think there's some really good color here because there's a cola war going on the island. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's Vim machines. They're the opposite of the Nuka-Cola machines. In some places, the Nuka-Cola machine will be knocked over and Nuka-Cola is scratched out and the Vim machine is there. So there's a cola war going on.
That's great.
So the Vim factory it's one of those Fallout locations where there's if you read the terminals, there's cola wars and they're talking about the development of the stuff and they test it on people and everything and there's a Captain's Blend Vim that tastes like fish, So, but it's like the Nuka-Cola Quantum. It gives you a huge bonus, but it tastes like fish. So the Vim factory is overrun by super mutants. So the usual super mutants to kill. It's a pretty cool location, I think, because there's vats of Vim, and you find some pump regulator thing that I didn't mess. Did you guys find the pump regulator in the Vim factory?
No, I didn't. What level's that on, or where is that in there?
Did you find the big empty vats of green stuff, the Vim vats?
Vim sludge.
Yeah, there's these big vats of Vim, and so apparently you can do something with this pump. I've saved it. I'm going to try to go back and do it later, but so you're running around and It's crazy. There's a lot going on there. There's the offices, there's the bottling plant, and there's the parking lot. And at one point, there's a behemoth that's locked inside a giant loading dock or something, and you can hear it stomping around in there. It's really a very cool.
I remember. Yeah, I found that behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
He had a name.
He did
Grum
or Grunt,
something like that.
Yeah, it was like a one-syllable name, and I kind of figured it was a behemoth once I heard how loud it was stomping.
Yeah, that was not my favorite fight.
He wasn't leveled. He was just a regular behemoth. So I one-shotted him with a sneak critical. I didn't have any trouble taking him down. I was afraid he was going to be like a crazy leveled behemoth or something, but he wasn't. At least not for me.
Mm.
So what Andrew, on to get to the there's a secret location that you kind of sneak. I stumbled onto it before. I actually found the location before I got the quest line. But it's one of those where the Avery's corpse is not accessible until you get the quest.
Mm-hmm.
So I was crawling around the secret lab area and picked up all the goodies there and talked to the robot voice that's there. But I had to go back and get after I got the quest and dig up the body because it doesn't show up if you just go there without getting Dima's memory quest.
Mm-hmm.
So you find Avery's body and you find Avery's body and like a holotape and a couple other things. There's also this robot voice that will open if you can either bring Nick and he'll open the door, or you can Nick pass a charisma check to get him to open the door, and he gives you some kind of pretty decent, unique weapon. It's got a funny name. You guys remember?
Not at all.
Anyway, it's like a super fast weapon. It like has fast reload speed and extra firing. It's a nice like special assault rifle that you can get in the Vim Pop. So Vim Pop Factory is one of the best locations on the island, I think. And best of all, you get the T-51 power armor that you can paint in the Vim refresh color. Yeah, that's really sweet.
I've got that sitting over here. I don't really use a lot of power armor running around, but I do like displaying it. So, and it's a pretty cool paint job, the Vim.
Did you go Vim? Did you go Vim, or did you go Vim refresh?
I went with the red and white. Is that?
Oh, I like the Vim? Green. That's the Vim.
Yeah.
And you can get the Vim refresh, which is like this sickly bright green. It's pretty disgusting, but I like it.
I found the green one. I didn't find the other one.
Don't you find it red and you have to paint it green, or is it green and you have to paint it red? I forget which way it went.
I think red and you have to paint it green.
I haven't messed around with it, so I would assume I found it red.
Yeah.
Maybe it was red.
Speaking of another quest where things aren't available for you until you unlock a conversation, there are so many things on this island where it all depends on how your conversations go, and it drives me crazy. This is looping back to something that I was talking about earlier and mentioned. Is it just me, or is Faraday the synth one KGMFer? Like, he's just okay. As soon as you're introduced to him, he is a total Dima sycophant. Like, Dima isn't asking for worshippers or whatever, but Faraday is pretty much, like, he'll lick his boot heels if he was asked. And there's a quest that he sends you on to retrieve some data drives, and when you get there, you find only 2. Which is fine, but there are also 2 trunks. One is open and one is locked, and it's called Victoria's trunk, or at least it tells you that it requires Victoria's key to unlock. So you go back and you go to Faraday, and Faraday goes, "Oh, you only got 2? Only the 2 data drives?" And my character went, "Yeah, but there was this trunk." And it was locked. Maybe the other data drive's in there. And Faraday goes, I don't know what you're talking about. That's all. The 2 data drives are enough. And so I was waiting.
That's a little awkward.
He's awkward. I can't stand him. I don't know. Something about him just rubs me the wrong way. And And I think it just kind of got sealed for me, though, because at first I was just kind of wandering around and I was like, okay, well, why can't I figure out where the key is to this trunk? And it was just kind of scratching at the back of my brain for the past couple of weeks. And finally I looked it up, and you have to end up talking to Cog, another synth in Acadia, and he gives you a quest line that will take you back to the trunk with the key. But again, I think that I just picked the wrong conversation or conversation options when it came to Faraday, because it's just not triggering for me, and it's driving me crazy. Because once I kind of ended up spoiling myself for the whole thing, and when I read what was happening, I was like, oh my god! I just wanted to choke him. So essentially, what it is Victoria is actually one of the synths who is living in Acadia, but she doesn't know it because now she's Jewel. And she's the one who's walking around going, I really can't talk to you right now.
I can't handle speaking right now. It's just too much pressure.
My head hurts. And like she's pretty much.
Yeah, what's up with Jewel? Yeah, I haven't messed around much with the NPCs in Acadia.
Yeah, she actually does have she is in physical pain, it turns out.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty bad. And so basically, I don't know if the quest is bugged again or if it's just I didn't choose the right options with Faraday, but it certainly aroused my suspicion. But I went down and I talked to Cog, and what he's supposed to do is be like, hey, I'm really concerned about Jewel because she's just not doing well. Her mental state just seems to be a little off. And so you go, okay, what can I do? And he goes, oh, can you go talk to her? And your character, go talk to the person who doesn't want to be talked to. Great. They really don't want to talk right now. So basically, at Cog's urging, she talks to you, and she ends up giving you this key. And she's like, well, I don't know what's going on, but this seems important. And then it turns out to be Victoria's key. You take it to the trunk, and you unlock the trunk, and there's a note, and it's written by this woman, Victoria, who's talking about Faraday and about how he says he's going to help her and something like that. And again, I haven't done the quest, so it's all a bit vague for me. But basically what it comes down to is you get a clue from the chest to go back to Acadia and go look through Faraday's drives for information. And there you find out that he wiped Victoria's memory and turned her into Jewel. And then you have a conundrum. Do you tell Cog? And then he says, oh, well, let's just not tell her so she has a chance at happiness, and that's where it ends. Or do you tell Jewel, and she's just like, screw all of you, how dare you? And she just storms off into the distance, and she gives you the key to her new personal trunk with all of her belongings in it. And I was like, I really wanted that quest because I really wanted to stick it in Faraday's face and be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I also wanted to find out if it was something that Dima sanctioned or something that Victoria actually asked for. But basically, Faraday was helping her escape, Victoria escape. But it just seems strange to me that they would wipe her mind, and I wanted to know more about it. And so for me, it's kind of built up a narrative in my head, and I just do not like Faraday at all. But I'm sure he's probably just doing Dima's bidding.
I think Victoria did not approve of the mind wipe. But I agreed with Cog to just not tell her.
Yeah. Well, I hope... it's surprising to me that the mind wipe has that kind of effect, or is that just a chance of that kind of effect, like the cranial pain? Or is that an accident, or is that just...
Yeah, that was an accidental defect, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because plenty of synths get their minds wiped and they work perfectly afterwards.
That's
like
true.
in the Institute and stuff.
Yeah, that's very true.
But I was so mad. I have like level 4 lockpicks. I was like, I should be able to get into this box. And then I have 11 charisma, so I was like, I should be able to convince this guy to tell me how to get into the box, but neither one worked. And then it took hours for Cog to come talk to me about it.
Well,
Oh, it's
see,
BS.
yeah, see, you and Andrew are used to circumventing things. You blow through walls instead of completing the puzzles. And Andrew ignores the NPCs.
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
I talk to everybody, but at 11 charisma, you can pretty much tell them to do whatever you want them to do.
Everyone is your puppet if you have 11 charisma. Especially if you get to, 10 charisma, you find the charisma bobblehead, so that's 11. Especially if you used your special book, that's 12. You put on a pair of glasses, that's 13. You put on one of those outfits, that's a +2. You can get up to 15 charisma, and then people just have zero chance against you.
Reginald's suit is what I have. It's +3 charisma.
+3, good lord! You can get up to 16 then. That's crazy.
Angela's dress is the female's version.
Nice. That's Is that from the Strong quest?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Oh, it is. Yes. Nice. So I have a side quest question as well, but let's go ahead and wrap up Dima's death and stuff here. So after we have his memories, we've got this launch code. We've got this information about the wind turbines or whatever. So what do we have to do then? We go to Far Harbor, and I talk to Avery, and I told her, hey, I have this launch code where I can shut down your air filters or whatever. And she's just like, oh, please don't do that. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. But what leads to me bringing Dima to Far Harbor?
Well, for me, I just talked to him and convinced him that replacing Avery was wrong, and that in order to continue the truce, he's going to have to prove to Far Harbor that they can trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So he just turns himself in.
Yeah, so you have this conversation at Acadia, and then he goes to Far Harbor to have this conversation with the harborman.
Yeah. It's one of those, just meet me over there whenever you get around to it.
Yeah, when you get around to it, I'll see you over there. When you want to come over to my trial, just whenever you get around to it. That's fine. So we meet him over at Far Harbor, and what's the interaction we have with the townsfolk and Dima?
They're all kind of gathered around, and he's talking to Avery. I think he just confesses. The shopkeeper wants to kill him right away, but I think you can kind of delay that a little bit.
Yeah.
Calm down, Alan. Calm down.
Yeah, Alan. But yeah, you get a chance to interact with them, I think. I think that's where you get the cool scene where everybody you've helped from Far Harbor kind of comes to your defense and says we can trust him. That might be a different part, but that was cool too. And eventually Dima just says, kill me. It's the only way for you to trust all the other synths. Just let them live and we'll live in peace. And then they do.
I bet that's
Yeah.
Faraday's craw.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to have helped like at least a certain number of those guys for that outcome to work.
Yeah. I'm curious to find out about all the other outcomes. I don't have the time to play through them all myself, so I'd really appreciate listeners writing in either, on our Facebook or in the email. I'd like to, or hey, give us audio feedback. That would be awesome. Let us know how that kind of interaction went for you guys. And because I'm wondering if there's more than one way to get Dima down there. Like, do you trick him, or is there also a reverse thing where you can bring certain people of Far Harbor over to Acadia or something like that, or is it just pretty linear?
Yeah, I just did the one. I think that's the one cool. In Far Harbor, it kind of goes back a little bit to the like the New Vegas style plot lines where there's a lot of different options. It's smaller scale than New Vegas, but there's a lot of different twists and turns you can get, and I think they went sort of back to the old plot where it's a little more, there's the specific factions. It's not sort of the really really open-ended version like you get in the Commonwealth. So I thought it was a nice change.
Mm-hmm.
It worked well, I thought.
Is there any way for like the Children of Adam to quote win unquote amongst all these three factions?
Well, they can turn off the wind turbines for Far Harbor and let the fog take over, can't you?
Yep.
I guess that's true.
They can live,
and then you can blow up their ship, and that's them joining the division or whatever.
That's true. That's true.
Do they want that really?
No, they go all if you do the launch codes, the whole settlement goes completely aggro, and you have 30 seconds to escape.
Oh, okay. So no, they don't want that really.
But that makes no sense. They can't stick to their own lore. Okay, see, because I was wondering about that specifically, like the launch codes and so on and so forth, and is that their ultimate win, or is it just turning off the wind turbines, or is there something else entirely, like wiping out all of the non-believers kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm hoping that on the round table that I get the Children of Adam as my faction, because I want to see what happens when you turn off the wind turbines. I want to see what happens if you go destroy Acadia.
Did you guys get the fog condensers at Dalton Farm mission?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens if the fog. I think the island basically just goes to hell. Mm-hmm. That mission was. I intentionally just ran away from that mission because it was just, I could not deal with everything the island was throwing at you. Galgwai and wolves and fog crawlers and gulpers and like everything.
It was pretty much everything at once. Yeah.
It was brutal.
There is another option for the Children of Adam, though.
What's that?
Dima. You can basically Dima will do to them exactly what he did to Far Harbor. He will replace Tectus with a synth.
Ooh.
That is interesting.
You can agree to help him, and then you actually have to go lure Tectus away, and then kill him, and then you see Dima kind of programming the new Tectus.
Oh man.
I want to do that.
And then that's Dima's plan to get both sides to kind of
chill
the truce, yeah.
Yeah. Again, like there's no perfect ending for anything, and I kind of like that.
I don't know. That one sounds pretty good.
Well, no, I mean there's still lies, there's still deceit, there's still killing people. Like there's nothing that's perfect, and that's something that really appeals to me in the Fallout universe. Like there is no straight and narrow. There is no this is the set of morals you should abide by 100% of the time. Like it's just a very murky, unclear, hey, do what you got to do to survive. And then I kind of take myself out of the narrative. I'm like, well, why is the lone survivor doing all of this? Like, it makes no sense. He or she just kind of waltzes into things and goes, okay, and just, it doesn't make any sense to me when I take myself out of the narrative like that. But I mean, it sure is a hell of a lot of fun on the journey anyway.
I had that dilemma too because earlier I killed the mayor of Diamond City because I found out he was a replaced synth. Mm-hmm. But then I let Avery live, even though I know she's a replaced synth.
Well, she's a lot nicer than the mayor, to be fair.
Yeah, the mayor's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
That's true. So did anyone else's Commonwealth factions kind of feed into what happened in Far Harbor? Because I think I mentioned 2 podcasts ago that I got the notification, hey, go tell the Brotherhood of Steel about this synth outpost. They need to know. They should probably go nuke it. Did anyone else have anything like that?
I actually just last night I tried to. I just noticed the since I we didn't destroy Acadia or anything, it's still there. I noticed I still have the quest marker of inform the Institute about the synth refuge. And so I went to the Institute, and it doesn't have a quest marker of who I'm supposed to tell or anything. I'm just like, wait a second, I'm the boss. Can I just not tell myself or tell everyone? Can I go make an announcement over some loudspeaker or something? I don't know.
Get on the PA system.
Yeah, but I was looking around for, all the different people on the board of directors or whatever, and they weren't saying anything about it, so I don't know what... I didn't get to rat out the Acadians.
But you hold so many meetings.
Yeah.
God, that's horrible.
I bet that quest would be different if Father was still alive.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because in my current playthrough, I still haven't really done anything too terribly much with the Brotherhood of Steel. I pretty much had just met them. Not in terms of, like, on the Prydwen and that sort of thing. So I'm up to that point. So everything was pretty new. Everyone was still around and kicking, kind of thing.
I wonder if the Brotherhood would, if you could rat out the sense to the Brotherhood, if they would actually come over.
I don't know. I haven't finished playing through yet, so I'm not entirely sure. But I haven't gotten any more quest markers to, hey, go back and give them an update kind of thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's nothing. And so, I mean, it'd be kind of weird if they put that in there and then nothing happens. At least it's a nod to the fact that, well, there are other factions with interest in what, or would be interested in what's going on in Far Harbor, and you should let them know if you're part of them.
Yeah.
And adhering to them. But if nothing comes of it, that kind of seems a little lackluster to me.
I just don't want Preston Garvey to pop up and be like, Dalton Farm needs your help. I'm like, but I'm nowhere near Far Harbor right now, brother.
The Dalton Farm needs your help.
Yeah. How are we on the... have we wrapped up? See, this is where I'm confused with how Far Harbor ends. According to my story, I've got Dima and Far Harbor, and the townsfolk just shot him in the back of the head, point blank, like a mob in the middle of the street. And I have him perked up in the lawn chair, sitting across the way from Mama Dalton, so she has someone to talk to. But...
Bless you.
So, sorry, my wife's sneezing in the background. It's fine. Dima is dead. I have these launch codes. I have the thing to turn off the wind turbines, and I keep talking to Avery, and I'm like, "Hey, Avery, I've got these launch codes, and I've got this code to turn off your wind turbine," and she's always like, "Oh, please don't do that." And I'm always like, okay, I won't. But then there was nothing going on anymore. Like, as far as I could tell, the quest was over, and I hadn't resolved anything with the Children of Adam.
Yeah.
So I just went over there and killed Tectus just for the hell of it, and then fought everyone else and killed as many people as I could there on my way out, just because I figured there needed to be some sort of remedy to that situation. But did I miss something? Should have it continued on where I would have been led to a quest to deal with the Children of Adam? Did I jump the gun there?
If not, that's a big oversight.
Well, you have the launch keys, so you can kind of let them live or kill them.
How do I do that? How do I launch these? The missile? How do I blow up the submarine?
When you go into the nucleus, when you go through the main hallway, the first hallway, just turn right and there's the sub. You can go into the hull of that sub.
I've been in there.
And the launch key place is just behind the first. There's a guard standing there.
Okay, I probably killed that guard and not even noticed the launch key. And so you just blow.
You just walk past
everyone is already dead, so I should go blow up the submarine.
Yeah, it gives you a countdown, and you get like 10 seconds to get out of there.
But is there a quest that'll prompt you to do this? Do the
Yeah, I
action?
see what you mean. Like, it seems like things are kind of unfinished for you.
For me, I think I did something a little weird. Killed Dima at the wrong time. I don't know what, but I feel like something is hanging in limbo.
Yeah.
Well, the mission is called Cleansing the Land. I think you get to choose if you destroy the nucleus, or you can choose to destroy Far Harbor.
I'm sorry, I cut you off earlier, Pat. What were you saying?
What about the throne room thing and the sub?
Yeah,
that?
The quest.
It's just you. It's what Casey was saying. There's a guard there, and you like walk like behind the guy's throne, and the launch key is just right there.
Mm-hmm. How do you guys get that quest?
I think I got it. Casey, is the Dima stuff the same quest line, or does it pop up?
Yeah,
I think Dima and the launch codes are all like this. Are they all cleansing the land?
Yeah, and you get it by completing the memory mission, the Best Left Forgotten.
Yeah, Andrew, I think you missed out on something there.
I'm at the sub right now. I'm entering the vessel, and I'm gonna go turn the key.
All right. Well, for anyone listening live,
I'm forcing this quest. All right. So here's his throne. And you said right behind his throne.
Yeah, it's to the right, I think.
I don't know.
So, does Dima let the synths back at Acadia know, hey, I'm probably going off to get shot and killed, bye? Or is it your job to tell people back at Acadia? And can you turn any of the factions? Do you get a notification like you do with the Brotherhood of Steel if you side with Paladin Dance? Like, hey, these people are now hostile towards you. Does that pop up?
I was expecting something like that to pop up, but no, I have not seen you are about to screw your relationship with this faction, or do you want to proceed?
Yeah. And did you say you didn't see the launch site?
The launch... Sorry, the what?
There's like a console in that throne room or whatever, behind the guy's throne. I guess it's Tectus. I didn't talk to him. I just ran behind him and blew him up.
Didn't even take the time to know his name.
Yeah. Hey, you! I'm gonna blow you up. Bye. So there's a console, and you basically just put the launch key in there, and you turn it, and you get a countdown, and kablooey, 30 seconds later.
Do you have to pick this key up somewhere special?
Because I wonder if it's something. Maybe that launch room is not accessible unless you have the quest. Because Far Harbor has a lot of that, where X is not accessible unless you have the quest that sends you to see X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, here's a missile status terminal.
Maybe that's it.
It's just giving me some information. It's not really giving me any options.
There's a big obvious keyhole thing, and you click on it, and there's an animation of the launch key going in and literally turning, and then the countdown starts, and you fail all the quests for the children of the
launch terminal. Let me activate this launch terminal here. It's not letting me activate the launch terminal. I screwed something up along the way.
Well, hey, you discovered a bug. Report it to Bethesda.
Because the quote unquote end of Far Harbor is you talk to Kasumi, and you resolve her. Either she stays or she goes back to her parents.
Yeah.
And I sent her convince her she's a synth, she's not a synth or whatever. Oh, well then you've ended. You're done.
Yeah. But I still want to destroy the submarine.
Back home, I think Far Harbor's over for you.
Yeah, I wanted to blow up the submarine still. That's too bad.
You missed your chance, I guess.
I think I'm SOL.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I think something else that might have been is I think I may have told Tectus that I was on his side and was going to go ahead and not blow up, but destroy Far Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was pushing me in that direction, and when it a couple steps too far, and then I went and talked to Avery, and she said, please don't do that, and I said, okay, no, I won't do that. And then I kind of got stuck there because at that point the only way I could proceed would be to go ahead and destroy Far Harbor and be in Tectus's good graces.
If you talk to Tectus, he may have taken the key, the launch code key from you too, because you can convince him to use it as well.
Really?
I can search his dead corpse here.
Yeah, you can convince Tectus to do the divide, or the divide is a good idea, and he will put the key in himself and do it.
Oh man,
Well,
that is
that's awesome.
fantastic. You're like, hey, do that thing, and then you just waltz out.
Hey, Casey knows all this stuff.
I really like the children.
I like that. Yeah, I can get to 11 charisma if I put on all my stuff and drink a beer. So maybe I should try that. That's my key. I have to drink the beer. That gets me to 11.
Nice.
I had some fun dialogue with the children of Adam too, because when you do the vision quest, you see, I think they call it the Mother.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk to some of the children of Adam, and they'll be like, "What did you see?" And you'll be like, "Oh, I saw the Mother. What did you see?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, nothing. I mean, I didn't die, but that was about it."
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, "Cool story. I saw the Mother. No big deal."
Good one, buddy.
You're like a dick to these people. They like worship
you. Yeah. I thought the participants in the church were kind of interesting because there were some people who were there who had to take they had to take some sort of medicine so that they could be a part, and there were some people who were just didn't have to, right? Did you catch any of that? I don't even remember who it was, but there's some people who were who sort of joined in who weren't exposed to radiation beforehand.
Yeah, some people are getting sick because some people are more immune than others.
Oh, I just thought it was weird. I don't know. There's a couple of people you had to do side quests for around the place.
There's one guy who's starving himself because he's trying to see the god or whatever, and the mission is to convince him to give up his fast so he doesn't die.
Do they consider dying by radiation like a failure spiritually, or is that a good thing?
They probably love that, right?
Yeah, like does that mean that the father, their God takes them, like that's a great thing, or that their father found them unworthy? Because I know that Titus, or whatever his name is, he was kind of yelling at them like at the Far Harborians and saying, he'll kill you, and like that's what the God does. Like Adam destroys everything that's not worthy. So is death by radiation considered good for them or bad? I think that's an interesting conundrum.
Yes.
Did you guys have the conversation with the merchant who talks about how some of them, like apparently some of them are immune to radiation, but some of them aren't. So it's actually okay if you have to take rad away. They sort of pity you because you don't have like the full gift of Adam, but like they don't mind that you have to take rad away.
That's what I was referring to there. Yeah.
Okay. So then maybe death by radiation isn't a great thing.
Well, they'd rather have followers.
It's not. They're pretty muddled. I just find them irritating because their mysticism is just not consistent at all. It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, their brains are irradiated, so I'm really not surprised. It's kind of like having syphilis or something, I guess. Your brain just goes. Logic has no place there.
And I had sort of a little bit of a side quest. I don't know. There's not really a quest that launched with it. I don't think. But have you guys been down to Cranberry Island? Down in the south, there's Cranberry Island Supply Shed, the Island Bog, and the Cranberry Island Docks. The Cranberry Island Bog is actually one of the settlements that you can get, one of the 4 on Far Harbor. But there is a locked. It's not.
It's a farm, but not a settlement.
Oh, there's no workbench there. That sucks.
The settlements are the lumber mill, the Alton Farm, visitor center and
Oh, the
Longfellow's.
visitor center.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
It's really confusing because it's marked as it looks like a settlement. When you get there, there's no workbench.
Yeah, there's a farm.
And I was pissed off too because all the other stuff is in the north. So
it's
you really
up on the
need
north
that
side. Yeah, it would be great to have a settlement on the south side of the island.
Exactly. I was all excited. Oh, there's a farm down there. I'm going to go get the settlement. But no, it's not a settlement. But the little puzzle there is pretty cool.
Well, see, that's what I was about to get into. I didn't want to look it up, but it was something I was kind of running around in circles last night trying to figure out. There's these notes that you find from a girl who's mentions that she doesn't want the grandfather to come stay, and then you find this mysteriously locked door on the property, and you're like, oh boy, I hope grandfather's not behind this mysteriously locked door. But then you're going around like turning on these some sort of power turbines or something like that. You're fixing these broken circuits, and you're finding these notes that, oh, brother and father are fighting. I hope that brother will just finally fall in line so the father quits, hurting him all the time and stuff. So I'm unraveling this little story, but I can't figure out what to do. I think I've fixed maybe 2 of the power turbines. I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to do. But maybe it's one of those things where I took too long with it last night and I just needed to walk away. I bet you if I go back and play it a little bit, I'll probably figure it out. Did you solve that one, Pat?
I had to look up the third. The first 2 I had no problem with.
Yeah.
But the third one, I had to look up the solution. It's a little different, and I was just like, you're right. If you go back to it fresh, you might see it right away. Mm-hmm. But for me, I was just stuck on it, and I had to look it up. And it's not hard, but it's a little different, and so it's not intuitive.
Okay. Well, so maybe I'll try to think a little differently and approach it and see if I can figure it.
Yeah. Look for a different solution. It's not hard, but you just have to look for a different solution.
Also, there's Brookshead Lighthouse down here. I think there's a ship just off the shore on the south side of Brookshead Lighthouse that maybe has some good treasure in it. What else was I going to mention? Oh, I forget. There's a vault.
Oh, yeah.
Did we all find the vault?
I didn't find the vault yet, no.
There's a vault. I went in and I played around in there. It's a little scary, though. I had trouble getting out the first time. So I'm scared if I go back in. Oh, man. I hate getting lost in those underground buildings because you can't fast travel out or anything. You're just like, God, I'm going round and round and round again. But, yeah, there's a vault on the island. Have you discovered the Harbor Grand Hotel? It's sort of on the south side of the island. You would want to check that one out if you want to check out the vault on Far Harbor.
I didn't go to the vault yet.
The vault's in the other hotel.
Oh, it's the Cliff's Edge. That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Why is everything on the north side of the damn map?
Well, the South Side Hotel is critical. I mean, there's something important that you find there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like all the settlements are on like the North Arc, from Longfellows over to the lumber. Yeah.
That is crazy. Everything's up on the north side of the island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for all the fun. The fun's on the south side.
There is a place in the south I had to look up. I had to cheat because if you're like me, you need to get all the trophies. And I found 4 of the 5 Islanders' almanacs just naturally. But there's 5 of them for the trophy, and I just couldn't find it, so I cheated. There's a quarry in the southern end of the map.
Oh, yeah, the quarry. I keep meaning to go back there. You hear about that.
There was no reason for me to go there at all, from my playthrough anyway.
There's when you're in Far Harbor, you hear people muttering about it and like, oh, those trappers at the quarry, rah, rah, rah. And then you get a little quest marker to go there and clear it. Like, no one actually tells you to go, but it's just like, hey, go find the quarry and do what you want there. Like, you can either leave it alone or you can go clear it out.
The Northwood Ridge Quarry.
I think.
Yeah, I've seen this.
I never would have found that place if I didn't look it
I
up.
cleared it out and used it as a place to sleep. Like when I was because doing survival, I needed a place to sleep.
Yeah, you need that with
as
survival.
I was trekking, like I don't follow the roads because that just takes too long. So I go across country, and as I was zigzagging back and forth, I would need places to sleep, and there was like a real bed there, not even a sleeping bag, like a real bed
nice.
where you can sleep 8 hours. So,
that like prevents disease.
and the bed has a squirrel stew that. Yeah, and this particular bed has a squirrel stew that respawns every time you sleep. So you wake up and there's a fresh bowl of squirrel stew beside you, and the squirrel stew, your hunger and your thirst. So it's great. It's a great bed.
That sounds like a fairy tale, like the magic bed, the magic breakfast bed. Like every morning,
the
breakfast.
magic squirrel stew.
Yeah.
There's something else I found. I found a super mutant who was friendly, who trains dogs. Did you guys find this guy?
No, where is he?
Oh yeah, I meant to go back.
I don't exactly remember, but each time you go back, you can adopt a new breed of dog. He has different breeds. He's got normal dogs. He's got mutant hounds. He's got the savage, not death hound, whatever they're called. He's got 3 different kinds of dogs. Maybe a wolf.
Does he have a wolf? I want a wolf.
Maybe. I'm not sure, but you can go get these dogs from him and just recruit them back to your settlement. I think you might have to buy them each time, but you can't get them all at once. But I don't even remember what the location was. Do you remember where that was, Casey?
No, I just wandered. I think it might be a plane icon on the map.
Oh, Horizon Flight 1207. There you go. Good call. My cursor just happened to be right on top of it as you were talking about it.
Yeah, because he's in a crashed plane.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So, yeah, check that out, Kara. That is sort of near just sort of south of the national park headquarters.
Okay. All right. Well, I need to go find this.
Get some dogs. Yeah, they're running around my property now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that photo you posted where it said, this wolf is not assigned, or this.
Oh yeah.
Person. And your caption.
This wolf cannot be commanded by you.
Yeah,
I think is what it says.
Yeah, your caption was, well, okay then. Yeah.
Well, okay then. You just wander around and do what you will, and I will leave you alone then.
That is fine with me, Mr. Wolf. Just please don't eat my face while I'm sleeping. Thank you. All right. Well, we should probably wrap. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I didn't find that super mutant. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just going to say, Pat, real quick, you mentioned that this was a huge epic playthrough and you had just finished up Far Harbor. Was there any last things that you needed to mention to us about your epic playthrough that you just finished up?
No, it was I was dying so much, so it just felt like I was there for a long time, and maybe for another podcast, or if other maybe listeners would write it. My timer I'm on Xbox. My timer must be bugged because my save game for loading Far Harbor was like at 6 days, 9 hours, and I played Far Harbor all weekend. Like 2.5 days almost solid, and my game counter is only like at 15. So like the game only thinks I only spent 6 hours in Far Harbor, and I was there like for 2 days, like literally
weird.
2 days playing. So I don't know that timer. I've never noticed it, except that I noticed that. So I was there literally. That was when I was epic, because I was there like 2.5 days, and I died a lot because it was I died more
you're in Far Harbor on survival mode, so
Yeah, it was deadly. But the other thing
that's impressive.
Going to say about the super mutant, I didn't find that super mutant, so there's still stuff I haven't found. There's stuff I've played the game probably 400 hours, and like I've never met like the fake Preston in all those hours. So that you find in the Commonwealth. So there's like still stuff in this game.
I haven't either, but I fast travel too much. I still haven't found Gene, the guy who sells dogs on the mainland, just because I don't.
I found him once. Yeah.
I don't run around enough. I fast travel too much.
Yeah, and I still haven't.
Real, right?
I've never run into him. I've only heard lore of the fake Preston.
Yeah, I've heard.
And I've also heard lore of, and I don't fast travel all the time. I do kind of 50-50, but I also haven't run into that female wild dog that's like getting beaten up
Oh
by
yeah.
either raiders or by other wild mongrels, and you have the option to either name her or not name her, and if you name her, her name is like Buttface or something.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like it's either give her no name or name her something terrible.
Yeah,
But that was something I kind of hoped to run into, but I never have, even in the areas that people suggest that I go. So I don't know. I kind of like that it's kind of unpredictable, the game,
yeah.
and in
Yeah.
that every player's experience is quite unique.
Hey, I know you were leading in towards wrapping up for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But just real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to Kyle Brennan, who is in our Facebook group. He just got done doing some voiceover work
Oh
for a new
yeah.
Fallout 4 mod titled Tales from the Commonwealth, which is currently available on Xbox One and PC. Sorry, Casey, that you can't play it on your PS4. But one of our Facebook group members was doing some voiceover work for some Fallout mods, so that's really cool. Shout out for Kyle. I have the mod downloaded, and I just finished downloading right before we started the show, so I'm going to load it up and see if I can go find his character. His character is called Bad X, so go look for Bad X in that mod,
Alright.
and shout out to that mod. What was it called? Tales from the Commonwealth and Kyle Brennan.
Yeah, I
It's
like
really
that.
cool.
That's really gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? This fever is not doing me any favors. It's ambitious. That's a pretty ambitious mod, creating that kind of, extra NPC kind of stuff.
Yeah, it has something to do with, if you're familiar with Skyrim mods, it has something to do with the interesting NPCs, which is evidently a big mod. I've heard Victor and Colin and those people talk about that mod before, so I think this is a pretty huge mod that has new interesting NPCs built into the game, plus a couple of new followers, maybe even, and 12 extra quests or something like that. So it's a pretty huge endeavor here.
Sweet. Do we know who created that?
I could look it up, but I don't have it right in front of me. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's
Let
cool.
me make it work for you. You don't have to, but yeah, I was heading towards a wrap up, and before I do, I just want to also, I tweeted this and I posted it on the Facebook group, but for any listeners who listen to this anytime soon, Bethesda Game Studios announced that the closed beta for Vault-Tec Workshop is coming, and you need to sign up for a chance to play. So anyone interested in that, go ahead and sign up. Once again, like I retweeted it and I posted it on the Facebook group, so you should be able to find the link through those. Does anyone else have any final closing thoughts?
Yes, I have a quick email here from Ray Butcher. Shout out to Ray. Thanks for writing into the show. He says, how are you going to work the characters for this season of the Roundtable since you've already run through the main quest? And real quick on that point is you don't have to do the main quest. We're going straight to Far Harbor and only worrying about Far Harbor. I'm going to see if I can not go back to the mainland for the whole season of the Far Harbor Roundtable. I don't think you have to do any of the main quest in order to do Far Harbor. You can just go and do it. Right?
Well, you do. You need to have. Well, I guess no. I guess if you can skip around Nick, then and go straight to the Nakano household, then yeah,
I
you
think you
don't
can go
even.
just straight there and do it.
I
I
was
don't
going
think you
to
have
say,
to worry.
you can also get sent to Far Harbor through Radiant quests. I got I didn't
So they were Minutemen, I heard, right?
Minutemen. I got it from the Brotherhood of Steel, the woman who sends you to look for tech, and I saw somebody playing on Twitch who got it from yet somebody else. So you can
nice.
you don't need to get it from Nick or his secretary. You can
Cool.
just get it by Radiant or whatever, and it says go. Mine. Oh yeah, no, I got a miscellaneous quest. It was find the caps in the National Park Visitor Center or something like that.
Nice.
I just you have miscellaneous quests just show up in your quest log, and you don't if you don't happen to hear the conversation, they just show up. And I had one just show up in miscellaneous. It was sending me out there.
Yeah. Well, Ray continues. I was listening to the latest Fallout feed today. I had that same glitch on the Red Death as you did. That was the glitch that my screen went black. I couldn't see anything. There, so. I just accidentally used VATS when I heard the sound of a Mirelurk walking, and that's how I got out. I really wish there was a way to take him back to one of the settlements to have him be your guard dog. He's referring to the Red Death. If you guys haven't played that, play the Red Death, and that guy would be an awesome guard dog. He's right.
I have yet to hear anyone say that they don't want that.
Yeah, that would be perfect. There's got to be a mod for that by now. I'm sure someone's done that. That's great. Yeah. He continues, really appreciate the time you guys take to do the podcast. As a fan of the game, it was fun to hear different people talk about their experiences. I have to admit, though, I'm one of those people that yells out the answer when you guys are struggling to remember an NPC or an event in the game. I know it has to be difficult when you are recording and have a bunch of conversations going at once, but keep up the good work. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for writing into the show, Ray.
Yeah, thank you, Ray.
I can never remember anything, and that has nothing to do with recording live. I just don't remember anything anyway.
Well, it kind of does for me, but also there are so many things that I write down, and then I look at what I wrote down, and I'm like, I have no idea.
I don't know what that means. That was like my notes for all my college classes. Well, thanks for writing in, everyone, and get your roundtable requests in. This is not the last call, but going on the last call for getting names in. We will be recording a planning session for Season 2 of the Roundtable later this weekend. So get your names in if you want some stats quickly, because after we do this intro session this weekend, we'll just have a couple weeks of downtime to get everyone have their characters together, then we'll hit the ground running a couple weeks after that. So falloutroundtable@gmail.com if you would like to do a play-along. And if you do like to do a play-along, we encourage you to write in with some audio feedback and write us some emails so we know what's going on with your character.
Yeah. All right. Any more closing thoughts?
Appreciate the chance to join in. It's fun talking Far Harbor with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Pat. You have an open invite to come back whenever you'd like.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, all right. That sounds like that's it for this week, Wastelanders. Once again, you can find us on our website at asapodcasting.com. Find all of our shows. I think we have a total of 4 right now. You can find us on Twitter at
Ever-growing.
Ever-growing, at the Fallout feed. And you can also find us on Facebook under the group A Skyrim Addict Podcast and the Fallout feed, all one title. And as mentioned before, you can email us at falloutroundtable@gmail.com for all things Roundtable. Please do participate. We love it. And for regular queries or comments, thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. And, of course, we're also on Twitch on twitch.tv/ASA podcasting. All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you in the Wasteland. Bye.
Thanks for listening.
See you in the Wasteland.
Good night, everybody.